Welcome back, dears. Today I will explain the sixth lesson in your Moment textbook, Weathering the Storm in Earth Summer, written by Harsh Mandar. The theme of the story is evoked when the storm takes place and due to which people are in a lot of suffering. And we can see the courage and presence of mind helps us tide over the worst of hurdles. And here in this lesson, we are having Prashant, who faced deep troubles, deep sorrows, yet stepped out to rehabilitating the people affected by the natural disaster. Now let's start the lesson. Weathering the storm in Ersama. The cyclone that hit Orissa in October 1999 killed thousands of people and devastated hundreds of villages. For 2 dreadful nights, Prashant, a young man, was marooned on the roof of a house. On the third day, he decided to go to his village. Did he find his family? So, we people are aware about tsunami. We are aware about the Himalayan tsunami. And in 1999 in Orissa, there was a super cyclone. Okay, and many people have lost their life, and many have become orphaned, and they have lost everything in their life. So here we can see a young man named Prashant, and he was also affected by this cyclone, and we can see whether he find his family or not, whether he was able to found his family or not. On 27th October 1999, 7 years after his mother's death, Prashant had gone to the block headquarters of Ersama, a small town in coastal Orissa, some 18 kilometers from his village, to spend a day with a friend. So this is why he was just being separated from his family during this super cyclone day. Okay, he has just gone to see his friend who is living in Ersama, and that is about 18 kilometers away from his village. And before that, 7 years back, he has lost his mother. In the evening, a dark and menacing storm quickly gathered. Winds beat against the houses with a speed and fury that Prashant had never witnessed before. So here we can see the actual dreadful nature of the super cyclone. Okay, the dangerous storm was gathering there, and the winds were beating against the houses with high speed and extreme strength. And this was the first time Prashant is seeing this kind of a cyclone in his life. Heavy and incessant rain filled the darkness. Ancient trees were uprooted and crashed to the earth. So we can see here there was heavy and continuous rainfall. Incessant means continuous. There was heavy and continuous rainfall, and it was totally dark, and even the ancient trees were uprooted from the earth. Screams rent the air as people and houses were swiftly washed away. The angry waters whirled into his friend's house neck deep. The house was of brick and mortar and was strong enough to survive the devastation of the wind's velocity of 350 km per hour. But the cold terror of the family grew with the crashing of trees that had got uprooted and fallen on their houses, sometime in the middle of the night, damaging its roof and walls. So here we can see the situation he was facing while he was in his friend's house. So this happened when he was in his friend's house, and his friend's house was a pakka house. Okay, it was made up of brick and mortar. Mortar means it is a combination of lime, cement, sand and water, and it was good enough to fight against the heavy rainfall and the furious wind. But what happened? There happened a thing that the trees that uprooted has fallen on this house. So what happened to this house? The roofs got damaged. Okay, the roofs and the walls got damaged because the strong wind of about 350 km per hour that just hit on the trees, and it just uprooted the trees, and the trees had fallen on this house. The crazed destruction wrought by the cyclone and the surge of the ocean continued for the next 36 hours, although wind speeds had reduced somewhat by the next morning. To escape the waters rising in the house, Prashant and his friend's family had taken refuge on the roof. Prashant will never forget the shock he experienced at his first glimpse of the devastation wrought by the super cyclone in the grey light of the early morning. So here we can see the cyclone just lasted for about 36 hours, like 1 day and 1.5 days. Okay, and by the next morning, the wind speed has reduced to an extent, but the water level was rising. So what they have done, the Prashant and his friends family, they just took the shelter on the roof. And Prashant will never forget about the shock he experienced when he had seen while he was sitting on the roof of the house. A raging, deadly brown sheet of water covered everything as far as the eye could see. Only fractured cement houses still stood in a few places. Blotted animal carcasses and human corpses floated in every direction. All round, even huge old trees had fallen. Two coconut trees had fallen on the roof of their house. This was a blessing in disguise because the tender coconuts from the trees kept the trapped family from starving in the several days that followed. So, next day, when he reached on the roof of the house, he had seen horrible things all around him. Okay, he had seen the dead bodies of men, women, children, and even the animals floating in this water. The swollen dead bodies were floating, and he can see only the broken cement houses, and all around the old trees had fallen down, and even on their house, two coconut trees had fallen. And actually, it has destructed everything. The roof and the walls are totally destructed to this trees, but it was actually a blessing for them because for some days this tree, the coconut tree, provided the food for these people. They used to have the tender coconuts from the coconut tree, and they just served as a meal for this people. For the next 2 days, Prashant had huddled with his friend's family in the open on the rooftop. They froze in the cold and incessant rain. The rainwater washed away Prashant's tears. The only thought that flashed through his mind was whether his family had survived the fury of the super cyclone. Was he to be bereaved once again? So, for 2 days, Prashant was trapped over there. He, along with his friend's family, have lived on the rooftop. Okay, and it was freezing cold, and it was heavily raining, and now Prashant is not having any fear. Okay, and he is having only he is worried only regarding his family because he is now 18 kilometers away from his family, and he is just worried whether his family has survived from this super cyclone, and he was just afraid whether he has to bereaved once again. Bereaved means to lose a family member or a friend to death. Okay, before itself, 7 years before, he lost his mother. So now he is again afraid whether somebody was affected by this cyclone or not. 2 days later, which seemed to Prashant like 2 years, the rain ceased and the rainwater slowly began to recede. Prashant was determined to seek out his family without further delay. But the situation was still dangerous, and his friend's family pleaded with Prashant to stay back a little while longer. But Prashant knew he had to go. So after 2 days, Prashant has now decided that he has to go back to his family. But his friend's family was requesting him to stay over there because it is still a risky situation. But for him, he was just worried about his family, so he just neglected their request, and he just started his journey towards his home. He equipped himself with a long sturdy stick and then started on his 18-kilometer expedition back to his village through the swollen flood waters. It was a journey he would never forget. He consistently had to use his stick to locate the road to determine where the water was most shallow. So here we can see the journey of Prashant. Okay, in order to travel in this road, he has equipped a long, sturdy stick. And he just started his journey towards his village that is 18 kilometers away. And he will never ever forget this journey in his life. And every time he was using the stick in order to find out whether it is a road, whether the water is shallow or not. At places it was waist deep and progress was slow. At several points he lost the road and had to swim. After some distance he was relieved to find two friends of his uncle who were also returning to their village. They decided to move ahead together. So here we can see the voyage of Prashant towards his village. Again he was just floating on this road, and sometimes the water was so heavy and it was just like up to his waist level, and that time it was so difficult for him to move, and sometimes he used to even swim on the road. And on the way he had seen two friends of his uncle, okay, and they were also returning to their village, and they decided to move together. As they waded through the waters, the scenes they witnessed grew more and more macabre. They had to push away many human bodies, men, women, children, and carcasses of dogs, goats, and cattle that the current swept against them as they moved ahead. In every village that they passed, they could barely see the house standing. Prashant now wept out loud and long. He was sure that his family could not have survived this catastrophe. So, again, we can see the horrible situation they faced while they were moving towards a village. When they were just swimming through this water, wading means swimming. They were swimming on this water, they were witnessing many horrible things. Macabre means horrible, and on the way they have seen the swollen dead bodies of men, women, children, and even the dogs, animals, goats, cattle, everything. And in every village they have passed, they could merely see a house standing. Almost all the houses were totally distracted, and Prashant was totally upset, and he was just crying out, and he was sure that his family could not have survived this catastrophe. Catastrophe means disaster. Eventually, Prashant reached his village, Kalikuda. His heart went cold when their home once stood. Where their home once stood, there were only remnants of its roof. Some of their belongings were caught, mangled, and twisted in the branches of trees just visible above the dark waters. Young Prashant decided to go to the Red Cross shelter to look for his family. So, after so many hardships, Prashant reached his village, and the name of his village is Kalikuda. And when he saw his village, he was totally broken. And when he saw the place where his home was there, now he can see just some remainings of the roof, and some of their belongings were just caught and twisted in the branches of the tree. And now Prashant decided that he will go and check out in Red Cross shelter for his family. Among the first people he saw in the crowd was his maternal grandmother. Weak with hunger, she rushed to him, her hands outstretched, her eyes brimming. It was a miracle they had long given him up for dead. So when he reached the Red Cross shelter, first he had seen his maternal grandmother, and she was totally weak with hunger, and she just rushed towards him, and she was just crying. Brimming means crying. Her eyes were filled with tears, and for her it was a miracle because they thought that Prashant will be no more. He might be dead by this time, but now Prashant is alive, so they are thinking that it is a miracle. Quickly, word spread, and his extended family gathered around him and hugged him tight in relief. Prashant anxiously scanned the motley, battered group. His brother and sister, his uncles and aunts, they all seemed to be there. So, when Prashant reached the Red Cross shelter, immediately the news spread, and all of his family members gathered there. And they were severely injured, and they were having many faults in their appearances and character, and he was just checking whether everyone is there, and he just checked whether his brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts all are there or not, and touch wood, everyone was there. Right now we can see Prashant has lost his house, but he was fortunate enough to have all his family members. So, what happened in Red Cross shelter? By the next morning, as he took in the desperate situation in the shelter, he decided to get a strip over himself. He sensed a deathly grief settling upon the 2,500 strong crowd in the shelter. 86 lives were lost in the village. All the 96 houses had been washed away. It was their fourth day at the shelter. So far, they had survived on green coconuts, but there were too few to go around such a tumult of people. Here we can see the condition in Red Cross. Okay, see about 2,500 people were living over there. Okay, and in his village they have lost about 86 people, and they have lost about 96 houses, and all the people who are living in Red Cross are just surviving only because of this green coconuts, the tender coconuts. But now that is not enough to feed all these people. Okay, they are having a problem, they are having a shortage in the food. Prashant, all of 19 years, decided to step in as leader of his village if no one else did. He organized a group of youths and elders to jointly pressurize the merchant once again to part with his rice. This time the delegation succeeded and returned triumphantly, wading through the residing waters with food for the entire shelter. No one cared that the rice was already rotting. Branches from fallen trees were gathered to light a reluctant and slow fire on which to cook the rice. For the first time in 4 days, the survivors at the cyclone shelter were able to fill their bellies. His next task was to organize a team of young volunteers to clean the shelter of filth, urine, vomit, and floating carcasses, and to tend to the wounds and fractures of the many who had been injured. So here we can see the leadership quality of Prashant. He is just a child, a boy of about 19 years old. Okay, he is just in his adolescent age. And even after that, he just stepped out as a leader of his village because no one was there willingly doing it. So he just stepped out as a leader, and he just organized a group of youths and elders, and they just pressurized the merchant to give his rice. Okay, and this time they won over him, and he has given them the rice. But the problem was that the rice was already rotting. But when they brought this rice to the Red Cross shelter, no one was worried whether the rice is rotted or not. They just wanted to eat it. And how they cooked it? They just took the branches from the coconut trees and they just put fire on it, and they just cook the rice and have the food. And after 4 days is the first time they are having the food that was sufficient enough for everyone, that filled the stomach of everyone. Then the next task he has done is he just made a team of young volunteers to clean the shelter filth. Filth means dirty, okay, disgusting environment. They just have to clean everything, urine, vomit, and floating carcasses, and they just have to look after the wounds and the fractures of the people who were injured in this super cyclone. On the fifth day, a military helicopter flew over the shelter and dropped some food parcels. It then did not return. The youth task force gathered empty utensils from the shelter. So, fourth day only, they have just eaten the rice from the merchant. The rotten rice, they just cooked it. On the fifth day, they had seen a helicopter flying over their shelter and dropped some food parcels. And after that, it hasn't dropped anything. But it was not sufficient for the whole people. So, what they have done? Now we can see the soldiers were just dropping the food from the helicopters, but that was not enough for them. So they have done something new. Then they deputed the children to lay in the sand left by the waters around the shelter with these utensils on their stomach to communicate to the passing helicopters that they were hungry. The message got through, and after that, the helicopter made regular rounds of the shelter, airdropping food and other basic needs. So right now they were having uh, trouble with the essential things. So what they have done, they just uh, took all the utensils, they just collected all the utensils all around, and they just made the kids lay on the sand, keeping their empty utensils on their stomach. Okay, and when the helicopters are passing over there, they can understand that they are having the problem with the food. And that message worked, and the army, the soldiers, they just dropped the food and other basic needs for these people. Prashant found that the large number of children had been orphaned. He brought them together and put up a polythene sheet shelter for them. Women were mobilized to look after them, while the men secured food and materials for the shelter. So here we can see the different kinds of people, the different types of people affected by this cyclone. Many children have lost their parents, either their parents or one among their parents, and he just brought them together and made them stay under a polythene sheet shelter. And the women were asked to look after these kids, and the men were asked to secure the food and materials for the shelter. As the weeks passed, Prashant was quick to recognize that the women and children were sinking deeper and deeper in their grief. So after many days, he understood that these women and children, they are just totally thinking, they are just sinking themselves with the sadness, the sorrowness in their life. So he persuaded the women to start working in the Food for Work program started by an NGO, and for the children he organized sports event. So in order to change the mentality of women and children, what he has done, he just pressurized the women to work in the Food for Work program. That is a program created by an NGO. And for the children, he just started sports events. Okay, and he himself loved to play cricket, and so he organized cricket matches for children. Prashant engaged with other volunteers in helping the widows and children to pick up the broken pieces of their lives. The initial government plan was to set up institutions for orphans and widows. However, this step was successfully resisted, as it felt that in such institutions children would grow up without love and widows would suffer from stigma and loneliness. So right now we have seen the women were engaged in the Food for Work program, and the children were playing in the several sports events. And Prashant was interested in playing cricket, so he organized even the cricket matches with the children, and the children were engaged. Prashant was engaged, and he was just helping the widows and children to make their life again. And by the time the government was deciding that they will set up special institutions for the orphans and widows. But later on, they felt that if they are making like this, the children would grow up without love, and the widows will suffer from stigma and loneliness. Stigma means disgrace. They will be again thinking about their past events, and they will be suffering. Prashant's group believed orphans should be resettled in their own community itself, possibly in new foster families made up of childless widows and children without adult care. So Prashant's groups believed that the orphan should be made to live in a community itself, in their own community. They should not be separated. Otherwise, they can even make a new foster family. Foster family means a family that provides custody or guardianship for children whose parents are dead or unable to look after them. Okay, so they will set up a new foster family, and that will be made of this childless widows and the children without adult care. So both will be complementing each other. They will look after each other. It is 6 months after the devastation of the super cyclone. This time Prashant's wounded spirit has healed simply because he had no time to bother about his own pain. His handsome youthful face is what the widows and orphaned children of his village seek out most in their darkest hour of grief. So after 6 months, even after the 6 months of super cyclone, Prashant was not bothered about all these things because he was totally engaged. He is not having a time to grieve. Okay, and he was just an angel in disguise for all the widows and the orphan children of his village, because he had made a new life for them. And whenever they are in pain, always the handsome face of Prashant is always in front of this widows and children. So this is all about the lesson, and I hope you understood. And this is a very thought provoking lesson. Means when we are facing any hardships in our life, we should not feel demotivated, but we should find new ways to motivate ourselves, or we should find ways to deviate our thoughts. We should make a positive mind in any hardship. Thank you.